Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. No, I'm just playing. We're not running that kind of video production over here. All right, guys. So yesterday we basically created our Angular project. We created our application and we pushed it to GitHub. What was it? Tenant. Here it is. We pushed it to GitHub, so we have our base project here, okay? And I never actually ran it for you guys, so let me go down here. Let's see. VS Code's not in the prompt here. Sorry about that. Let's open VS Code. Alright. Here we go. So here's our application. And I don't even think we built it yesterday, right? Like with the CLI, with the Angular CLI. So let me just do this. Alright. And it should still be ng-serve for the... Let's see here. Let's just check out the Angular docs. Alright, getting started, because I think the last major project we did was with like Angular 8, right? And we're on 15, so I'm sure a lot of concepts carried over, but just want to check the docs to make sure we don't get hung up on anything, because I know somebody in the Discord was telling me, or Enjoy to Live in the Discord was telling me that they changed to signals now. So we'll get in to kind of see what that's about. But all right, ng-serve open or -o, and that'll open our project. Let's see, application bundle. All right, so I'll show you the base project, what we're working with here, and then we'll get in GitHub and we'll start creating some issues. So awesome! Look, they changed it a lot actually. It used to be a really pretty. Hang on a second. All right, sorry about that. Let's see. So it used to be a page that looked like this. All right, for more thorough introduction. Okay, awesome. So we have our base Angular application, and that's what happens when you hit serve. So let's go back, and they should have the hot reload enabled as well. We'll just say Michael. We'll save that, and let's see. Congratulations, Michael. Okay, so hot reload is enabled. And basically what that means is when we edit the code, it'll automatically update in the browser, so we don't have to keep doing that rebuild process right down here. It gets super annoying. All right, so on the agenda today, I basically want to get on GitHub, and I want to break down what we're working with here, right? I want to see... I want to create some issues in GitHub, and I want to start basically the design, right? And I guess we could work on the interface. I didn't know if I wanted to take the CSS approach first and just kind of start getting our navigation bar going and the sidebar. And there's one site that I really like. I'll show you guys that. But anyway, let's go to issues here. Okay, and we're just going to do some high level stuff. I'll show you that site in a minute on the navigation bar that I like, right? So we want to do a just a basic layout. And these are going to be very high level as we start out because you don't want to get too in the weeds, right? You just want to build something basic and then some pages. So what we're going to need is a navigation bar, and we're going to need basically you can call it a header, right? But let's see, basic layout. Enjoy to live. What is up, dude? God, it's been a while, huh? Here's an example of a site. Alright, so here's a site. Dude, how have you been? I can't believe you guys are still coding, still online. I mean, that's pretty awesome, the dedication there. I hope you've been doing good, man. I know when we would used to stream back in the day, we had a lot of fun. So this is a website that I go to frequently, and I really like the simplicity of the nav bar here, and you can push it in, pull it out, whatever, and then it just shows your basic header right here. So let me see if I can screenshot this. And I think that would be very simple to start out, and if anyone's good with CSS, you can get in there and open a PR on this request. I mean a PR on this issue. But basically, doing well. Yep, all's well with me, man. Just been busy. But you know, I really missed streaming. It was like waking up and eating breakfast. It was part of my day, and I don't know, man. I really miss it. Glad to be back doing some stuff for sure, and building some projects. All right, so I really like this nav drawer is probably what it's the technical term here. So we'll do that. Kind of want to. Let me see here. Can we make that thicker? Who knows? All right, and then we'll do another one because I want to do the top here. Yeah. God, that yellow is so hard to see. Can we not make it thick? It's 12:23, or yeah, 12:23 right now. So what I plan on doing is I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get up early like I used to, like before work, as long as I don't fall asleep and be late for work again like that one stream. But anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna get up and I'm probably gonna stream really early in the morning, and I'm not gonna make the stream so long either. Like I'm gonna do an hour and then I'll get out of there, right, and be done. And I think that'll be good. That way we can keep some momentum going on this project, because as GitHub, as a pull requests come through, and as that would allow me time to do things. Yeah, it would get me burnout, maybe, but I guess it depends on what time I go to bed. I'm thinking I think a good stream schedule would be nice. Like maybe like instead of every day, I guess it just depends on how these projects go and if people are really enjoying them. But I think maybe every other day in the morning or something like that probably would be good. I don't know. We'll get a feel for it. We'll fill it out, but I just want to it just depends. Hopefully, if the community's enjoying it and everything. So we'll see. We'll fill it out. But a stream schedule is good. All right. So what kind of, you said you're coding mainly in React in Georgia Live, or what? I know you said you've gotten a little better as a dev. That's always good to hear. All right. So let's go back to GitHub. All right. All right, so simple. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Simple nav bar here. Yeah, we'll throw that in there. All right, yeah, that looks good. All right, I like the nav on the left and the bar on top. I think that would be a good start. Here's an example of the site that looks simple. Yeah, so basically just a viewport, basically, is all we're looking for here. I think that's fine, right? Just to kind of get it going. Sign yourself. Labels. We can do a good first issue. Good for newcomers. I think that'll be good. And just in case we pull, I've had a lot of people from outside sources go into these repos. So let me update this README with the YouTube series, or not series, but the list, right? Let me see here, the playlist. This is Tenant Buddy. Yeah, okay, cool. I'll just pull the channel link. Do that. Create a new issue for that as well. All right. Add YouTube link and README. And the only reason I'm doing that is, like I said, for outside sources. Like if they want to follow along, they can, and they just find themselves on this repo, well, they'll be able to go to the YouTube videos and kind of just basically sift through whatever they want. I don't know why Live Code Camp's my username, but I don't know. If that changes, we'll just whatever. That'll be a good first issue. If anyone in the community wants to grab that. All right, what else? What else? I think. Let's see. What else could we do? All right. ng generate component pipe service class interface. Oh, my bad. Yeah, mainly in React, but getting in love with HTMX recently. I'm thinking about building a turn-based game on SPOC shipping. Dude, holy crap! What are you? What? So can you? I had no idea you were into games, dude. What? Can you tell me what is POC? What do you mean by that? And as POC, show people you can hide. Yeah, dude, tell me more. That sounds really cool. Had no idea you got into game development, or that area. All right, let's get to coding, man. All right, first things first. I want to go. Oops, I'm trying to make sure you guys can see it, but I'm also not trying to blind myself here. All right, main branch. All right, so here's a GitHub tip. Whenever you work on a proof of concept, yeah, I got you. My bad, dude. So whenever you work on a GitHub project, what people normally do is when you check out, like if you want to work on an issue, so you see how this is issue number 1. Basically what you would do is you would come here. Let me undo these changes. And what you would do is we would do a git pull just to make sure there's not any changes that need to be merged. Git checkout, is it still B? And then we'll do number 1, basic layout. Oh yeah, that is it. Okay, so that way, whenever we work on this, we're not contaminating the main branch. You know, you don't want to mess something up, and then because I'm sure we'll run into a few mistakes here and there. I want to see. Explore the docs. Oh man, they've completely changed this page. Look at this. Wow. Dude, people can do some crazy stuff with CSS. Right. Huh. Dude, if you if you do create that game, post it in the Discord, man. That'd be cool to look at. For sure. Alright, let's make sure that this is still the same here. Forms module, imports, template, basic component. So everything seems to be about like it used to. I was thinking we can rely on Flexbox for the CSS. TypeScript fundamentals. Yes, yes, yes. Are we using TypeScript? Yes. So here's our component. Did they already add a router? Oh, that was another thing. Hold on, let me add that to the Okay, so we need Alright, so in this tenant application, there's a home page. I was thinking what we could do is we could first create like a client's page or a tenant's page, right? And that's where you would input a tenant. Okay, so if a landlord has a new renter, they would put their name in there, maybe the address, or something like that, right? So let's just create a tenants page with a component. Alright. Okay, we'll just keep it basic, right? Nothing crazy. And I'm gonna do good first issue on this because that's basically just a I mean, you're creating a new component and adding a path, right? It shouldn't be anything crazy. Do I have to click on it? Yeah. Okay, cool. So HTMX isn't for interactive apps. Whoops. This is interesting. What is this new? HTMX is just the main thing React uses, right? Or is this something different? I haven't used React in a long time. Holy smokes. Oh, I see it. HX post, swap. So you're gonna do an interactive game with this? That's gonna be pretty crazy. That'll be pretty cool. Oh, server-side integration examples. Click to edit bulk update. Let me check this out. This is pretty cool. Wow, dude. So good old days of templating engines and not worrying too much about the client code. Yeah. Dude, that's wild. I could have used this for a ton of stuff. I'll keep an eye on that. That's really cool. Alright, so back to what we were doing here. So let's see if we can work on that home application. Alright, app routes. If Angular still does routing like I think it does, then it shouldn't be an issue. Comma is only a placeholder. Yes. Okay, here's our router outlet. Main div. Let's see if I can get rid of this real quick. Alright. Whoops. Alright, so the trick here is to build the navigation to where it's always on the page, and then whatever is output through the router always has that nav component ahead above it, right? So we'd probably do a nav component here. Let's go ahead and generate that. ng-new. Let's see. What is it? Did it pull me out? What? Oh, no problem. Enjoy to live. I'm just hanging out. I'm not gonna be streaming long. Let's see how long have we been up? 24 minutes. So I'll probably stream for another 40. This command is not available running on Angular CLI inside of a workspace. When did that become a thing? Dynamic data. I need the CLI docs. Invoke tool. Alright, so workspaces and project files. Let's take a look at this. So the ng-new command creates an Angular workspace folder and generates a new application skeleton. A workspace can contain multiple applications and libraries. The initial application created by the ng-new command is at the top level of the workspace. When you generate an additional application or library in a workspace, it goes into a projects folder. Newly generated application contains the source files for a root module with a root component and template. Each application has a source folder that contains the logic, data, and assets. So you can edit the generated files directly or add or modify using CN. Alright, so the ng generate command to add new files for additional components and services and code for new pipes directory. Yeah, so I think we're looking for ng generate. Let's look at that. ng generate component. Yes. Alright, that's what we were looking for. ng generate component. Display ball. Alright. So this is just going to be the nav bar, or what I want it to be a student navigation. Generate component nav bar. Alright, so here's our nav bar. Okay. I'm gonna open up another terminal here. And we'll just ng serve from that. Localhost 4200. Yes. Well, where is the hell? Why is it doing that? I swear I'm about to change browsers. Okay. Alright, so what we need to do router outlet. I'm going to throw the nav bar in here. What's the shortcut for going over to VS Code? See if there's a shortcut to jump in the Explorer so we don't have to spend some Control P whenever any files in the tenant's name. Title started through the last set. Not really what I was looking for. Nav bar. Yeah, let's look at the TypeScript. App nav bar, standalone true, imports, template. Excuse me. App nav bar. Really, we can take all this and remove it if we wanted to. G, item title. Yeah. Alright. This is the CSS. Yep, we don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need the divider. Justify content center. Some of this we probably could have used, but I don't know, I don't want to get too hung up on it. Alright, so it's the style. Alright. App component. Alright, so what we need to do is we need to add to the import, we need to add, I think we need to add the nav bar, right? The nav bar component. What's the shortcut for switching between tabs? Oh my god, I spelled that wrong. Alright, command option. Yeah, there we go. That's a lot better. Alright, so app nav bar. We added it, imported it. And we should be able to see it. So app nav bar is not a known element. Alright, so we gotta make sure that it is included. App nav bar. Router outlet. Oh, I didn't save it, my bad. Let's see if we get a clean build. Yeah, so nav bar works. Okay. So now we'll basically just kind of try to style it, I guess. Alright. This is going to be tricky. I have to brush up on a little bit of CSS here, but I think we can do it. Smart thing would be to go ahead and add our git commit. So we'll do git add. Alright, we'll go ahead and push our changes to that branch for the basic layout. Oh god, I gotta push upstream. So basically I need to set the upstream, which will create a branch. It should, right? On GitHub, because I don't have one yet. For what I've checked out. Okay, cool. Everything's up to date. Alright. Alright, so what we'll do, we need to dig into the CSS, I guess. This thing. Not part of component. Excuse me. My nose is just stopped up like crazy. Alrighty, so here's where it's about to get a little tricky, okay? I think if this is already created in Flexbox, we should just do it that way. Let's see if anyone has anything out there. Yeah, here we go. Basically what we want is a viewport, like a div class main, oops, so we'll do nav, and then we'll do div class router outlet. Alright, and we'll just place our router outlet. Here. Whoops. And then we'll go down and grab the navbar outlet, place it here. Okay. Alright, so when we do that, this is just building the foundation here. I need to brush up and see maybe some Flexbox docs. I just need some Flexbox docs. Usually referred to as Flexbox. Yeah, no kidding. 2 axes of Flexbox. So when working with Flexbox, you need to think in terms of 2 axes. The main axis and the cross axis. The main axis is defined by the flex direction property, and the cross axis runs perpendicular to it. Okay? Everything we do with Flexbox refers back to these axes, so it's worth understanding how they work from the outset. The main axis. So the main axis is defined by flex direction. So the main axis, that would be our whole container, right? Should you choose row or row reverse, main axis will run. You know what? Should you choose row or row reverse, your main axis will run along the row in the inline direction. Okay. Choose column or column reverse, and your main axis will run from the top of the page to the bottom in the block direction. So the cross axis runs perpendicular to the main axis. Therefore, your flex direction main axis is set to row or row reverse. So we need like a column. So check this out. Why does my... Dude, this thing, I swear I don't understand this Mac sometimes. Alright, so basically what we need, in order to get this basic layout like So I think it would be like, here's your router outlet. Okay, this is where I would want the router outlet to be. Is down here. And then I need my nav on the left, and then this upper header here. So you're actually talking about 3 sections, right? The nav, the upper header, and then the outlet. Now this would be a column, and then I think this would be a Flexbox row. Does that sound right? Yeah, column, and then main axis, start and end lines. Another vital area of understanding is how Flexbox makes no assumption about the writing mode of the document. In the past, CSS has heavily weighted towards horizontal and left to right writing. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Heavily weighted towards horizontal and left to right writing modes. Modern layout methods encompass the range of writing modes, so we no longer assume that a line with text will start at the left of the document and run towards the right. That makes sense. The Flex container. So an area of a document that is laid out using Flexbox is called the Flex container. To create a Flex container, set the area's display property to Flex. Set the area's display property to Flex. When we do this, the direct children of that container become Flex items. You can explicitly control whether the container itself is displayed inline or in block formatting using inline flex. For inline flex containers or block flex, or flex for block level. Some vital values are defined, so the common the new flex container, display row, flex direction. Let's see. The items start from the edge of the main axis. 1, 2, 3. Change flex direction. Ooh, multi-flex containers. While Flexbox is one-dimensional model, it is possible to cause or flex items to wrap onto multiple lines. In doing so, you should consider each line as a new flex container. Any space distribution will happen across that line without reference to the lines on either side. So to cause wrapping behavior in the property flex wrap, we don't need that. Alright, so flex basis is defined as size of what return space leaves the available space. In this case, the browser looks to see if the items have a size. In the example above, all the items have a width of 100 pixels. So if the items don't have a size at the container, the content size is used for flex basis. Just display flex. Okay. What does FlexGrow do? So with the FlexGrow property set to a positive integer, flex items can grow along the main axis from their flex basis. This will cause the item stretch to any available space on that axis. The main axis is the x-axis, right? If we gave all of our items in the example above FlexGrow value of 1, then the available space in the flex container will be equally shared between our items that would scratch the container. Let's see. Grids. Basic concept of grid layout. CSS grid layout introduces a two-dimensional, let me make sure you guys can see, grid system to CSS. Grids can be used to lay out major pages, page areas, or small user interface elements. This article introduces CSS grid layout and the new terminology that is part of the CSS grid layout. Alright, what is a grid? So a grid is a set of intersecting horizontal and vertical lines defining column and rows. Yes. I think this is what we're looking for, chat. Fixed and flexible track sizes, so you can create a grid with fixed track sizes using pixels, for example. This sets the grid to the specified pixel, which fits to the layout you desire. You can also create a grid using flexible sizes with percentages or with FR unit design. You can place items into a precise location on the grid using line numbers, names, or by targeting an area of the grid. We'll create a grid container by declaring display grid or display inline grid on an element. As soon as we do this, all the direct children of that element become grid items. In this example, we have a containing div with a class of wrapper and inside are 5 elements. Okay, we're getting somewhere with that. Now in a wrapper, if you have grid items, let's see, make the wrapper grid container display grid. So all the direct children are now grid items. So in a web browser, you won't see any difference to how these items are displayed before turning them into a grid. As a created single column grid for the items. At this point, you may find it useful to work with Grid Inspector. Part of Firefox Developer Tools. If you use this example in Firefox Inspector Grid, you'll see a small icon. Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll probably end up using that. As you learn and then work with CSS grid layouts, the tools will give you a better idea of what is happening with your grids visually. If we want to start making this more grid-like, we need to add column tracks, so grid tracks. We define rows and columns on our grid with the grid template rows. Yes, this is what we're looking for. And grid template columns. These define grid tracks. A grid track is the space between any 2 adjacent lines on the grid. The image below shows a highlighted track. Yeah. Grid tracks are defined in the explicit grid by using the grid template columns and grid template rows. Properties or the shorthand grid or grid template properties. Tracks are also created in the implicit grid by positioning a grid item outside of the tracks created in the explicit grid. Alright, so I have now created a grid with 3 200 pixel wide column tracks. The child items will be laid out on this grid. Dude, so what if we could do a wrapper and then have a column on the left at like 20% width, and then on the right where the viewport comes out, we could have 80% width? You get what I'm saying? Look at that. CSS looks great. Div class wrapper. Let's try this. Div. They don't even have classes on these. It's just a div. Ooh, dot wrapper display grid. What would that be in the app component? Let me take this class out right here. And we'll take this one out too. Just because I want to visualize what's going on here. And let's take out this. Put it below. we'll take out this. Put it below. What was the... Oh, shit. Let me see, what was the comment tag? God, dude. Oh. Yeah, totally forgot about that. Whoops. Alright, let's make this nice and neat here. So we're going to comment the router outlet, and we're going to comment the app navbar outlet. Just so we can see what's going on here. And what we'll do is we'll do div1 here, and we'll just do div2, and we'll put that in maybe like some P's. Alright. Alright, so we have div1, just so you can see that here. We have div2. Let's go back. Alright, grid template columns, 200, 200, 200. Let's see if we can get these to be 200 pixels. Just so we can see what we're working with here. And I'm gonna add a class to these so we can put a border around it. That way we can just visualize what's going on here. Whoa. Alright, let's do that. And then div2. And then we'll do div2 border 1 pixel. Let's do 5 pixels solid. Yeah. 5 pixels is a little much, okay? I mean, but we can do, let's do 2 pixels. I didn't know it was going to be so thick. Let's see, 2 pixels. Yeah, there we go. Now the question is, can we use percentages on this? Let's try to do 20% and then 80. Oh, dude, it worked. Okay, cool. Let me use the restroom. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Alright, boy, we are making progress. But this is how we want our layout to be, basically. Like I said. Now the question is, can we stretch this viewport down? So wrapper, the FR unit. So tracks can be defined using any length unit. Grid also introduces an additional length unit to help us create flexible grid tracks. The new FR unit represents a fraction of the available space in the grid container. The next grid definition will create 3 equal width tracks that grow and shrink according to the available space. Class wrapper 1, 2, 3. Wait, what? Three equal width tracks that grow and shrink. Dude, that's what we need. 1 FR. Unequal sizes. In the next example, we create a definition with a 2 FR track, then 2 1 FR tracks. This is exactly what we need. This is what we're looking for pretty much. So the available space is split into 4. 2 parts are given to the first track and 1 part each to the next 2 tracks. Class wrapper. How does it know? How does it know which one? Oh, it's the columns. It's pushing the containers into the columns. That is really cool. And I think that's exactly what we need. Watch this. Yep. Did that build? Did we really just do that right? Hold on a second. Let me see. Application bundle, page reload sent to clients. Yeah. Wow, dude. Yeah, that is exactly what we need. Let's keep reading because I want to see if there's anything on the width of the actual wrapper itself. Gutters, nesters, layering, and next steps. So mixing flexible and absolute sizes. What is that? In this final example, we mix absolute size tracks. Yeah, so you could do 500 pixels on your nav and then 1 FR on the rest of them, right? That is really cool. Our divs are kind of jacked up though, because we're taking so much space. So what we can do is we can do, let's see, div 1, div 2. we want the nav on the right. We don't want div 1 to be the widest. Question is, why is div 1 the widest? Div 1 is the widest because we have 2FR on it, which we've just learned. We want 2FR on our viewport and then 1FR on, yes, that is exactly what we're looking for here. Alright, we've been streaming an hour. I want to try to keep these videos in chunks. I think this is a great start. I mean, this is good, right? What I'll do is I'll throw these viewports. I'll throw the components in there, see how that works, and then we'll work on, we'll commit the changes. I'll push the bits up, and then on the next stream we'll just keep picking at it. So let's see if we can get router. Oh no, we don't want router outlet. We want out nav bar here. All right, let's see if we can get router outlet in here. Yep. We did. Where is my router outlet at, by the way? So app component should be the base route, right? Let me see. If there aren't any routes, yeah, we'll add that during the we'll work on the router outlet during the other video, or tomorrow, or whatever we want to do there. Look, I think that's a great, dude, this is a great start. We're getting going on it. So go ahead and kill that. We'll add our changes. We'll git commit message. So we'll add layout. We'll push these changes up. And the thing is about, building stuff from scratch like this, you don't, it's not going to be perfect up front, right? Like a lot of you may think, wow, it's red lines, let's keep pushing and let's, add the background, the CSS, but that's not how it works, especially with one person building an application. You want to just take it easy, and you want to build things slow and consistent. Consistency is key with this stuff, okay? And that was a good push of effort there. We learned a little bit about the Flexbox layouts and the grid, and really it did exactly what we needed it to do. I'm going to go ahead, I'm not going to merge this yet because I want to work on it some more. So we'll leave it be, but I did push, let me make sure I push changes up. Yeah. Nice. Alright guys, so thanks for hanging out. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the Discord community. And that's it for today. I'll see you next time, and we'll keep pushing forward.